so close to turning over Ireland yesterday.
Yeah, of course. But I think in Netherlands, yesterday's match, actually, Netherlands really, today, they did a good job by getting through to Hong Kong and escape the wooden spoon. But yesterday, Ireland also played a good note. And they did wonderful well against bowling Nepal, who was really threatening them at one stage. Later on, they come back and clinch the victory which they were looking for.
Bilal Khan getting that significant away movement from the bat of the left-handed Pandey. Generates good movement. And a good pace, the left-arm seamer coming in from the Al Emirat end here. Squaring up Pandey again. No runs from the bat yet. A cautious start from Nepal. Remember, they lost the toss this morning, this afternoon. Paris Khadka calling incorrectly. And the Oman skipper, Zishan Maksud, deciding to bowl first, perhaps inspired by his spin bowling efforts in tandem with Kawar Ali. The two spinners sharing 8 wickets between them. Beats him again outside the off stump. Loose from Pandey outside the off stump, and no runs to the total yet. So an inauspicious start here for Nepal, really.
Yeah, because unfamiliar. Actually, they like to go for the runs in the very first couple of overs, but some good bowling from Bilal kept them quiet.
And there's going to be the first runs of the day into the leg side. Not the prettiest shot to the eye coming off the under edge of the bat. There'll be plenty of time to get back for 2. And I think perhaps because Paris Khadka is happy just to keep it at 2, so they won't get back for a 3rd. Paris Khadka made Nepal's first T20I century last month, joining an exclusive list of those to do it as captain of their side. That was in the Tri-Series against Singapore. Singapore, of course, pipped Nepal to the spot at the T20 World Cup qualifiers for the Asia region.
Yeah, as I told, Karkak is a very brilliant all-rounder for Oman and leading their side from almost 7-8 years.
That's hit into the sky. That could be a chance for the first wicket. A little bit of a confusion, mix-up between the two fielders, but the catch will be taken. It was a short ball from Bilal Khan. It caught Pandey surprised by that. He looked for the cut shot, but he could only fly it off the outside edge. And despite the confusion between the backward point and cover fielders, the first wicket falls for Nepal. Here's the replay. You can see Bilal Khan has dug that in, and just a little bit too quick for Pandey. There was very nearly a collision between the backward point and the cover fielder, but safely held on. Early strike for Oman.
Bilal is always the strike bowler for Oman, and they were never let go with the wicket in the first test. And today he did that same. The first ball, short pitch delivery, and it was very awesome for the batsman. He tried to play it, and you correctly said there was a collision between the point and the third man, the fielder. Unfortunately, both of them are safe and taken by Aqib Ilyas. Good start for Oman. 2 for 1.
Yes, that's the end of the first over. 2 for 1 the score. Not the start that Nepal would have wanted, but exactly the start the table-topping Oman would have been looking for. Just take a quick look at the two starting 11s today if we can. That's the Nepal team. Just the one change for them from yesterday, and really surprising to see Lalit Rajbanshi come out of the side given how well he bowled yesterday. But for Oman, I believe they're unchanged. Or is there one change?
Khurram Nawaz has been out and Sandeep Gop has been brought in.
So Paris Khadka is underway immediately, and you're spot on, as you have been all week. Thank you, Jamil. Sandeep Good into the side in place of Khurram Nawaz. stifling hot afternoon now. We're about 15 minutes outside of Muscat. Beautifully bowled by Fayaz, but getting up good pace. Seen some good pace bowling this morning. We were just talking to the Dutch coach upstairs, Ryan Campbell, during the break about that talent that they've discovered in Brandon Glover.
Yeah, of course. He bowled extremely well this morning with sheer pace and accurate length and line. Got 4 wickets also. So Oman has got a very good spearhead attack led by Bilal Khan Fiaz, followed by Mohammad Nadeem. All have sheer pace.
It's going to be the first boundary of the afternoon. The short ball hit away by the new batsman to great cheers in the crowd. I think we know who the fans are going to be supporting today. Maybe a home game for Oman, but the Nepal fans follow them everywhere. And Arif Sheikh's account is underway with a boundary.
Yes, it's beautiful delivery, and he nicely placed over the square leg boundary for 4.
Yeah, we've seen the extra pace at times be hit away for runs and cause run scoring opportunities. But anything short of a length has just tended to sit up and be hit away and hammered into the deep.
It was too short. Not you. I'm talking about the short ball.
Yeah, Trent Johnson there, the Hong Kong coach, just wishing us well on his farewell out of the ground, and we wish Trent and his Hong Kong side all the very best in that T20 World Cup qualifier. Effervescent as always, the great Trent Johnson. Nicely steered by Arif Sheikh into the offside. There'll be plenty of time to get back for 2 as
nicely placed.
Mehran Khan runs around to do the fielding from third man.
Arif is a very solid player in the Nepal batting lineup, and he always bats. Last match he got out quickly. This time he played it out towards the gully region, Wacken gully part, got 2 runs in the first ball.
That's glorious from Arif Sheikh. He's carved that over the offside. 2 full this time from Fayaz Butt. And Nepal starting to get moving now with their number 3 at the wicket, Arif Sheikh.
Lovely shot from him over the head of the cover boundary, full of confidence. Headed towards the cover boundary, 4 runs to him, lovely shot. Slightly over pitch, and he's take full advantage of it. Hits it high over the cover fielder for 4.
The crowd just starting to filter in this afternoon all around the beautiful surroundings of the Al Emirat cricket ground, where we've had every match of this tournament. Oh, that's beautiful from Arif Sheikh, the perfect straight drive, half a hand onto it from Fayaz, but saves probably a certain 4. So he saves 3 runs, and Arif Sheikh will keep the strike. At the end of 2 overs, the score is 14 for 1.
Beautifully placed by Arif, but well fielded by the fielder as well. They prevented any boundary, got only a single of it. End of second over, 14 for 1 Oman. Bidal continued to bowl the 3rd over from the pavilion, and what Andrew says is Emirat end?
Yeah, the pavilion or Al Emirat end, depending upon your point of view. The points table there on your screen in front of you. As you can see, Oman, the hosts, they are on top. And it's going to take not just a win for Nepal, but an absolutely humongous win. We'll have the net run rate calculators out if they can do that, to work out how they would go above Oman and indeed Ireland, who'd be a 3-way tie at the top of the table, 6 points each. But Oman really in the driving seat, and the home side rightly favourites ahead of today, given the form they're in. As Arif Sheikh heaves that one into the leg side. That one's going to soar onto the VIP boundary, and in fact balcony. It's going to go over the heads of the VIPs there. That's the biggest 6 I've seen this week from Mohammad Arif Sheikh.
Absolutely surprising change in his batting style. Andrew, I saw him always getting singles and doubles. But today, I think he has decided to go to the bowlers.
Yeah, it was a length delivery. You can see the replay on your screens there.
Absolutely wonderful shot. Over the wide mid-wicket boundary, over the VIP box for 6.
Yeah, you can see the replay. He just missed his length. It was right into the slot from Bilal Khan and dispatched with complete disdain by Arif Sheikh. Been talked about as a star of the future for a long time now. Nepali cricket. Just as we speak about him being a star of the future, big appeal. There was a noise, given not out.
Yeah, it was after.
Let's take a look at the replay, see if we can pick up anything from our camera angle. It was a fish outside the off stump. Shorter delivery from Khan.
No, I think.
Or fuller delivery from Khan even. But no bat on that. The noise was...
Absolutely, yeah, it was just clear.
The sound of the bat hitting the ground. The 2 standing umpires this afternoon, Rahul Asher and Vinod Babu. The 3rd umpire, that's Hari Krishna, all coming from the Oman Cricket Board. Top edge into the deep. There's a man out there at fine leg. Dropped. Should have been taken. The local fans not happy with that, but the Nepali fans cheering glee because Mohammad Arif Sheikh should have been gone for 17, but he gets to live another day. A real dolly put down in the deep.
That was a simple catch. It's popped out of the hand after getting it.
Yeah, I think it was Mohammed Naseem in the deep at fine leg. He actually got into a good position at first and just jumped at the last second. And that led to the ball popping out, so a little bit of fortune for Nepal.
He's a wicket keeper, Mohammed Naseem.
Wide outside the off stump and signalled as a wide, 2 wide from Bilal Khan.
That was a very, very important wicket for Oman, which was let down by Mohammed Naseem. Arif Sheikh looks in a absolute form now, playing his shots as at his will. Though I saw him playing a very sensible knock, goes single and doubles, but today he's playing some cameo innings.
Cut away, that's glorious from Paras Kadke. Stand and deliver stuff. He knew as soon as the ball left the bat that he didn't have to run. Beat the sprawling dive of the backward point fielder. That's just glorious from the Nepalese idol that is Paras Kadke.
Yeah, of course. He's the hero in Nepal. I have seen when we've been in Nepal, people are crazy for him, and he's really deserved that love he got from the Nepali people. He has done a great job for Nepalese team, and he's keeping the team together as a captain. That's the best part of it.
He just loses his shape that time, trying to heave that into the leg side. He's so influential for Nepal, not just with bat and ball, but as a leader. We could see that yesterday, the way he dragged his side back into the game against Ireland, marshalling his troops, ringing the bowling changes. He's a real icon of the sport.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about it. And above all, he's a very, very nice gentleman. Very, very sensible cricketer, genius, playing for his country, giving everything he has for his country. He's an icon for the Nepali players also.
Short ball, it comes off the top edge. This could be another chance. The wicketkeeper is going to try and take responsibility for it, and he's going to take a very good catch. That's outstanding work from Suraj Kumar, coming back into the team with the gloves on, and he's done the job, which is going to get rid of Paras Kadke in the final ball of the 3rd over.
Well, I think they are playing too early, those shots, because the number of over 3 overs has only gone. They should have ducked it down. But both the batsmen, I think, now decided to go onto the bowlers and finally cut out.
Just seeing the replay there on your screen, you could see how much ground Suraj Kumar made across to his left. He called it immediately. He sprinted wholeheartedly to his left and got both hands to the catch, which was the key. But again, that short ball from Bilal Khan, it's causing problems for the Nepalese batsman.
So far, brilliant catch from Suraj Kumar, and then a lot, about 25 to 30 meters from his place. Kept his eyes on the ball and shouted loudly, "That's mine," and took a brilliant catch. Nice effort from him. Resulted him getting a very good catch of. That is a very important wicket for Oman, because Paras is one of the best players Nepal has got, and Bilal Khan get rid of him with another short bouncer.
Yeah, coming in at number 4 for Nepal is going to be Dipender Singh Airi. Couldn't quite get going in his innings against Ireland yesterday. Remember, Nepal were 73 for 2 halfway through their chase. They needed exactly 73 more from the remaining 10 overs with 8 wickets in hand. You felt like it was going to be a cakewalk for them and they were going to score a historic first win over a Test nation. But George Dockrell's spell, combined with some tight bowling from Simi Singh and real nerves of steel from Mark Adair towards the end, closed out the win for Ireland.
Dupinder is a new man in. He played a good knock yesterday against Ireland. So I hope that today he's also play with responsibility and give some good score to Nepal for Oman to chase.
Yeah, Dipender Singh Airi facing up to the change in bowling as Mohammed Nadeem comes into the attack. Number 99 on his back from the Muscat end. And he was really impressive yesterday with the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Nadeem has brought back into the attack. He is in great form, Nadeem, with his lively bowling, accurate bowling with sheer pace, not letting the batsman any chance to come over him. Absolute, brilliantly bowled so far.
Nicely driven by Dipender Singh Airi, and as soon as it pierces the field here, with the hot circumstances and the hot conditions this afternoon, it's going to be a boundary 4 to get Dipender Singh Airi's innings underway today. That's a lovely shot, late onto the front foot, coming out, grading the ball on the half volley, 4 all the way along the ground.
He's picked the gap nicely, just pushed the ball through to the point and cover boundary 4 runs. Lovely shot from him. Good start for him.
See, Dipender Singh Airi was waiting on the back foot, almost expecting the short ball, but he overpitched Mohammed Nadeem and was punished. Another nice shot into the offside, this time a misfield. A backward point from Aki Bilias. They'll get back for 2. Oman so good in the field yesterday, perhaps showing the effects of 2 afternoon games in a row. Hot conditions to deal with here.
Yes, today's conditions are a bit different than yesterday. It's quite hot today afternoon as well. Normally, the weather cooled down in the afternoon, but today things are still the same. But at least some breeze is there across the ground. Mohammed Nadeem, lively pace, so far bowled extremely well throughout this tournament.
Cut away, that's come almost off the cue end of the bat. It's going to be another boundary, a second one of the over for Dipender Singh Airi. Not where he was intending to place it, but the Nepalese fans won't mind that. Another boundary 4.
I think Nepalese batsmen have decided to go on to the Oman bowlers right from the word go. And Khatka and RF both have gone out playing unusual shots. And both the wickets fell to Bilal Khan, who bowled a teasing length and line and some good short pitch deliveries.
Cut away again by Dipender Singh Airi. That's the shot he favours. Slower ball from Mohammed Nadeem, not quite picked up. See this so regularly now in T20 cricket. And chatting to the 2 coaches of the morning games, Trent Johnson and Ryan Campbell, they were saying in T20 you can't really afford to bowl the same delivery twice in an over. You have to constantly be willing to change it up, whether you're a spinner or a quick bowler. Particularly the quick bowlers, you can't bowl 6 out and out fast delivery, so lots of slower balls being used.
Yeah, it will give them little, relief from bowling the fast bowling, and also variation
Clipped off his hip this time by Dipender Singh Airi. A little bit of a mix-up in the running between the wickets, and they've ended up at the same end. And Dipender Singh Airi has thrown his bat away in frustration. He's going to be the one run out. Originally, they did want to come back for 2. And Arif Sheikh, you felt, was going to come back for 2. But with the mix-up, as so often happens with the run-out, has ended in catastrophe. And Dipender Singh Airi has paid the ultimate price with his wicket. After 10 runs, 11 in fact already from the over. Here's the replay. You'd have to think there was 2 runs there to be had, but the complete mix-up in the running between the wickets has ended up with the ludicrous situation of both batsmen at the same end and Dipender Singh Airi's bat being thrown away in frustration.
A disaster for Nepal. It was really unfortunate run out. Could have been easily, I think. He was already halfway through, but I think the batsman didn't saw him coming up. He was looking at the ball, and by the time he came, the bowler threw the ball back into the wicketkeeper's hand, and it was a bad mix-up and great loss to Nepal batting.
Yeah, 3rd wicket inside 4 overs for Nepal. And even though the runs have been coming, they're going over 9 and over. They can't afford to be losing wickets in the power play, and Binod Bandari is going to be the new man in at number 5, the wicketkeeper batsman. But Arif Sheikh and Bandari are going to have to rebuild now.
Yes, first, I think they have to consolidate their position right now. Instead of going for the runs, they should look for single and twos to give them some strength in the runs, and then they go for their favorite shots. There's another bowling change from the Amarathan, and it's Amir Kaleem brought back into the attack.
Yeah, going to be Amir Kaleem for the first time today with his left arm spin. Those graphics at the bottom of your screen, we're just getting them updated because it is indeed now 37 for 3. Of course, Nepal will get one of the runs that were completed, but as they turned and come back for the second, Dipender Singh Airi might have run 2, but Mohammad Arif Sheikh, he only ran 1. So 1 run to the total, but crucially for Nepal and Oman, the run out. Lovely start, and we can see immediately why he's been brought into the attack. Turn right away, even with a ball that's less than 5 overs old. Lovely left arm spin bowling.
Yeah, Amir Kaleem is a very useful spinner, and he's always tried to get wickets in the early overs. He's flat bowler.
It's going to be a boundary. Hit over the head of mid-on, who's up in the circle. Remember, just 2 fielders allowed outside the circle in this first 6 overs of the power play. They're at long off and deep square leg, so that's going to be a boundary 4. Lovely batting. He really held his shape nicely there. Just his second delivery, Binod Bandari.
Yeah, it was half volley and very well struck by Bandari over the head of mid-on, 4 runs to him. I think Nepali batsmen should stay on the wicket first, and they go for the runs later on. But of course, any short ball, any good delivery they think that they are going to hit, they should get it.
Bowled him. That's going to be the 4th wicket in 5 overs, remarkably. So it's going to be 4 and out for Binod Bandari. That one really kept low, a little bit of a grubber. And he does have his man. He's got his revenge. Amir Kaleem. Oman continue to dominate as they have throughout this tournament. 4 wickets inside 5 overs.
Yes, and all came in quick succession. Once again, the change has brought wicket for the skipper of Oman, Zishan Maqsood. And Bandari wanted to hit it out towards mid-wicket, but ball kept a bit low and hit the stumps. The 4th crucial blow to Nepal's batting. Bandari, he's a very good player. Unfortunately, today he didn't come up like his earlier batsmen, Paras Khatka, and unfortunate run out of Dipender Singh.
It's going to be the youngster Sandeep Jura to the crease. Not even 18 years of age yet. So 4.5 overs gone, and Nepal 41 for 4. Not the start they will have wanted in the wickets column. Perhaps the run rate going fine. I'll just bid a short farewell to Jamil Zaidi. I'll have to get one of our special guests onto the broadcast, but The runs continuing to come for Nepal, this time through the shape of a wide, down the leg side from Amir Kaleem. Really focused Oman home side here. Remember, they're unbeaten, 3 from 3 at the moment. It's hit into the sky. Remarkably, it could be yet another wicket. Tossed up and taken. That's a really good catch at mid-off. Fantastically held over his head by Mehran Khan. And you have to question the shot selection of what is going to be a first ball duck for Sandeep Jura. It was tossed up temptingly by Amir Kaleem, and he took the bait. And we'll bring you the replay now. Remarkably, 5 wickets have fallen inside 5 overs. That's going to be a first ball duck for Jura. Amir Kaleem won't be on a hat-trick because of the wide in between the 2 wickets. But an inspired bowling change has brought about 2 wickets in the over. Nepal really living and currently dying by the sword. Sampal Kami going to be the new man to the crease at number 7, and I bet you just about 15 or 20 minutes ago he didn't think that he'd be into the wicket inside the 5th over, because those graphics on your screen are correct. The score currently 42 for 5. After 4.4 overs, we've seen nothing but action in these first 5 overs. Real disappointment for the Nepalese fans who've come in here today in such great numbers. Plenty of Oman fans up on the VIP balcony behind us as well. This bowling change to Amir Kaleem has really worked wonders for Oman.
Yes. Now I can see him at his best, what class he was having during our last outing in Ireland into the 2015 qualifier. He was the main wicket taker for Oman. 16 wickets he took in that tournament. And today he's showing the same class in his bowling.
Yeah, it's a good start from Sampal Kami. Just clipped off his legs into the deep. You get back for a single. You have to question some of the Nepal stroke play. You lose early wickets, you need to consolidate, and every one of those dismissals, perhaps with the exception of the one that almost ran along the ground to clean up Binod Bandari, it was a little bit unfortunate. The others all caught out playing aggressive shots.
I think they're playing too early their shots, I think, rather than consolidating themselves first and then play their game.
Cut into the deep by Arif Sheikh. Remember, of course, Arif Sheikh was dropped as well. This could be even worse for Nepal. They could be 6 wickets down right now, but at the end of the 5th over, it's been all action. In this, the final match of the Oman Pentangular series, Nepal moved to 44 for 5.
Half of the batting went into the pavilion of Nepal. That is really unfamiliar, but all credit goes to Omani bowlers who did a remarkable job. First, Bilal Khan got 2 wickets, and then Amir Kaleem also brought in and got those 2 wickets in the last over. One unfortunate run out of Dupinder Singh is, of course, is a question, because there was misunderstanding between the 2, and both the batsmen were stranded at one end. There's some lack of communication between them. But anyhow, Oman take advantage of that, and Dupinder Singh got run out. 5 wicket down, 44 is the score. Over number 5 is on.
Mohamed Nadeem going to continue from the Muscat end. Really, you just have to question the tactics of Nepal here. Coming in as the lesser fancied side, the only one of the 5 not going on to the T20 World Cup qualifier. They've had a good week. Wins over the Netherlands and Hong Kong, and very nearly beating Ireland yesterday. But they really have just gone all-out attack, and 5 of their batsmen already dismissed after just 5 overs.
Yes, really, it is very, very unfortunate for Nepal, and Nepal is not the team who is going to have this T20 qualifier in UAE, but they really played absolutely brilliantly in the last 3 matches.
It's a glorious day here in the Al Emirat Cricket Grounds, the home of the Oman Cricket Academy. We're playing this game as we've played all 10 matches at the Oman Turf 1 ground. Sensational facilities that are in use here. Beautifully bowled up by Mohammed Nadeem. Beats Sampal Kami outside the off stump. Sampal Kami, an out-and-out all-rounder, very competent with bat and ball. So still some hope here for Nepal.
Yes, I mean, it's not everything not gone now. It's still 5 overs, still 15 overs to go. If they stay on the wicket, look for singles and doubles, consolidate their innings, and then go for the runs. That is the, I think, only way out. They have to come up with a good total for a man to chase.
Sampal Kami looks for the late cut. It comes a little bit off the under edge, but they will get back through for the single. Bilal Khan doing the fielding down at third man.
That's absolutely beautifully and brilliant catch taken by Suraj Kumar of that delivery from Bilal Khan. He ran about 20 meters from his place, kept his eyes on the ball and took a brilliant catch. And immediately after that, 2 more wickets fell. So Nepal is now really struggling. 46 for 5, over number 6 is on. Bowled by Mohammad Nadeem.
Yeah, watchful now from Arif Sheikh, and even though that run rate for Nepal right up, hovering just under 9 and over, it's the wicket column that's going to be the concern. 5 wickets inside, less than 5 overs. Disastrous start this for Nepal.
Yeah, just bring me the memories of yesterday's drastic collapse of Netherlands. In just a space of about 20-25 runs, they lost 8 wickets. At one stage, 71 for 2, and then suddenly career best bowling figures by Khawar Ali, who got his first international T20 hat-trick.
Big edge and given, that's the 6th wicket inside 6 overs. Consistency here with a wicket going almost every over for Nepal. This is a disastrous start for them. Mohammad Arif Sheikh looking for the cut shot. And you're going to bring you the replay here. It wasn't quite short enough to cut. Mohammad Nadeem, back of a length, finding a thick outside edge and through to the keeper, Suraj Kumar, who takes his 2nd catch of the innings for him.
Well, I think you give all credit to Oman. They are doing outstanding performance in all departments of the game. Batting, bowling, and fielding. So far, they are unbeaten in this Pentangular T20 cricket tournament. Everyone is giving his heart out for the Oman national team. And Nadeem is one of them who is always giving them the breakup that they need to.
And it's going to be the big hitting all-rounder Karen KC coming into the crease now. And he's already performed some heroics this week. He very nearly did it again against Ireland, hitting the first ball for 6 and the second ball for 4 off Mark Adair to give Nepal late hope of a famous win. Karen KC is in just the 7th over of the match, remarkably. And after 6 overs, Nepal have fallen further to 46 for 6. So I'll just bid you a farewell as I'll pass over to Jamil Zaidi, who has got a particularly special guest with him right now.
Well, gentlemen, I do have with me Mr. Pankaj Khimji, the Senior Director of Oman Cricket Board, Chief Division of Oman National Team. We welcome you, Pankaj Bhai. And first of all, congratulations to you for having this wonderful tournament, which is a prelude to the qualifier in T20 in Dubai. All credit to you for having such a wonderful tournament, bringing all the teams together.
Good afternoon, Jamil. Thank you, Andrew. It's really a pleasure to be coming on air. It's our first official live telecast of a Pentangular in Oman. It's also our second international tournament that we're hosting. So obviously we are making some strides in the international arena of T20 and ODI cricket. We're extremely grateful to ICC for having supported us and encouraged us to host and to build this magnificent facility. Obviously, we're very indebted to His Majesty over here, who's endowed the full development of this ground, the infrastructure, the clubhouse. But more importantly, yes, we are indeed very proud of what we have. It's to Oman Cricket's credit that they've been able to not only build a ground and the infrastructure on it, but also the team, which was even more important. That had we not had a good team, all this infrastructure would have been futile.
Pankaj bhai, please tell me about the remarkable success that Oman team has got from last 5 and 6 years. It is really remarkable success Oman has got.
So Jamil, you were very much part of that initial build-up of the Oman team. We started as ranked amateurs, ranked in the 38, 40 in the world. We just got our associate membership only about 7 years ago in Melbourne at the ICC, and it all started from there. We started from a Division 6 and moved up all the way to Division 2, and now here we are playing World Cup qualifiers. So indeed, it's been a remarkable progress by any yardstick, and I think for an affiliate nation 6 years ago to associate status and now to international status, I can only say it's been due to a few very basic development areas in Oman. Number one, you pick the best support structure to support the team. Number two, you give them all the incentives. Number three, the board sticks to governance and stays out of cricket affairs. And that's what we've tried to play on. The fact that we've got 3 or 4 or 5 large corporates who have been sponsoring good teams at the Premier League has also helped build the bench strength of Oman's cricket. And after you win one, you get encouraged, you build a better team, you win 2, you get even more encouraged. And I think the wins that we've had over the last few years have encouraged us to put in more towards developing quality cricket and not just the infrastructure.
What's your plan for the future of Oman cricket? The way things are going, it's extremely good for Oman. Just 50 for 6 now, Nepal, at the end of the 8th over. Yes, Pankaj, please.
So the future looks very good. At the moment, we've got this 30-month period where in the ODI, we've got to play 9 triangulars. We played 1. We had a good series in Scotland. We're hosting the next one here in January. And then in February, we're touring Nepal. So we've got a very busy schedule over the next 30 months to see whether out of the 7 teams, which are ranked number 14 through to 20, who stands out and makes it to the World Cup qualifiers for the 2023. Having said that, we are also very keen on developing grassroots cricket. We also need to be very wary of the fact that it's not just cricket for expatriates in Oman. We need to build a very strong national interest in cricket over here. So over the next 5 to 7 to 10 years, we intend to focus a lot more on grassroots development of cricket, and that is to bring as many national schools to inculcate cricket as an activity, after-school activity program. So we've just started that program now.
So my last question, Pankaj bhai, is that about the local cricketers here. So far, we have not seen some very good local cricketers coming up playing in the national team, apart from a couple of them. So do you have any plan to give them more training and facilities so that they can come up and join the national team?
Jamilu, you're absolutely right. We have kind of faltered, or I should say, we've actually not progressed very well in terms of developing local talent, in terms of national cricketers. But this is going to be the main focus going forward. It's not easy to pick a person in his 20s to come and train him to go and play for the national team. But if I can pick up a 7, 8, 9-year-olds and in numbers from local schools and get them to be interested in cricket, let them start wielding a bat and throwing the ball, this will go a long way in developing the future of Oman cricket in the next generation, for the next generation. So that's the kind of goal we have. It's not about developing 1 or 2 or 3 individuals, but to have a larger interest at grassroots level, a broad-based interest at the ground level, to start getting them interested in watching, playing, and appreciating cricket.
Thank you very much, Pankaj Bhai. Now I moved on to my commentator partner, Andrew Leonard, and Leonard is going to have some questions from you. Thank you, and please stay with us.
Thank you, Jamil. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, thanks a million, Jamil, and a real honour to sit down next to Mr. Pankaj Kimji, who's our guest of honour. Of course, he's the Senior Director of the Oman Cricket Board. A little bit of a mix-up there between the two batsmen at the crease, Karen Casey and Sampal Kami, trying to rebuild this Nepalese innings after a little bit of a disastrous start. 6 wickets in 6 overs, but not a disastrous start perhaps from your point of view, Mr. Pankaj. And you tell us a little bit about the history of this development here. World-class facilities just about 15 minutes outside of Muscat.
Thank you, Andrew, for your kind words and for your appreciative comments about the infrastructure here. Yes, it's been a long wait. It's been a dream come true. We're very appreciative of the fact that we had the Ministry of Sports, who had a large area demarcated for sports development, and they were able to carve out a large chunk of land and give it to cricket. You must remember that cricket is not a small sport. It occupies a large chunk of ground. It requires a lot more resources to run cricket than any other sport, as a matter of fact. So we were very kind that they were able to grant that. We then were very kind that His Majesty appreciated the fact that we had done a very good, sound league system over the years, over the last 40 years of cricket in Oman, and the fact that we required an infrastructure would be reflective of the work that we've done. Here goes a 7.
Yeah, just going to interrupt you there because Amir Kaleem is continuing with his golden arm. His left arm spin has found its way through the defensive efforts of Karen KC, and the wickets continue to fall here for Nepal. Not the start that they were looking forward to this final game of the Oman Pentangular series. Just going to bring you the replay here now on your screens in front of you. And there was a little bit of drift and dip. And here comes the replay. Beautifully bowled. Beat him in the flight and goes on to hit the off stump. And this Oman side, unbeaten all week, remember. They look like they're going to go on and seal this series. But yeah, the facilities you have really, they don't just seem good from an Omani perspective, but from a world-class perspective. You've had the ICC over for the official opening towards the end of last year of the Cricket Academy here.
So we're very privileged. We had Dave Richardson earlier on when we played the quadrangular against Scotland, Netherlands, Ireland, and Oman. And then we had William Glenwright, Maila Jayawadne, and Anil Kumble, who graced the 40-year celebration and the official inauguration of these turf wickets and the clubhouse and the Oman Cricket Academy. So yes, we've had a very good year. We've got a fantastic year to celebrate 40 years of Oman cricket, glorious years. And this team is doing far more justice to the cause and to the celebration by winning all the matches so far. And it seems that this match seems to be heading well in Oman's favor so far, but it's cricket. You never know. There's a second innings to be played.
Absolutely.
We'll see how it goes.
And the Oman side, it's not just the T20 format that it's been thriving in. Of course, they gained ODI status for the first time at the Cricket World Cup, they've advanced to Cricket World Cup League 2, where they'll now play 36 ODIs over the next 2.5 years. We saw the first of those triangular series up in Scotland, where Oman won 3 out of 4 matches. How important is that format to Oman? Is there a realistic pathway there to the 2023 World Cup for Oman?
I think it's an incredible format that ICC has put forth. We had a superb 3 days of discussing it and planning it, and the way they went about planning it, where it was an all-inclusive effort by the 7 countries, and we all put it together and we agreed the format. Not just that, not only playing these the 9 triangulars, but we also will be playing a lot of internationals on the sides of each one of them, either before or after.
They'll mainly be T20 internationals around the ODIs.
T20s internationals, there will be ODI internationals going on, and then as we go, let's say if we are going to America, we might stop over in Netherlands or Ireland or somewhere Jersey and play a couple more games on the way there, on the way back. So I think there's a lot of cricket in store for us over the next 30 months. It's cricket all the way.
And is that regularity of fixtures that the Cricket World Cup League 2 that it will give you? It'll give you 36 games over 2.5 years, but if you can finish in the top 3 of that, you'll automatically progress to the 2022 Cricket World Cup qualifier. I know almost all the focus is on 2020 cricket here this week, with the 2 T20 World Cups coming up in the coming 2 years, the T20 World Cup qualifier next week. But surely this pathway is something that Oman must be aspiring to and going on to the Cricket World Cup qualifier.
If I had to give a toss between the ODI and the T20, I'd obviously go for the ODI. But we seem to have got a very, very good team. The players are very anchored. We've got a superb support structure headed by Dilip, Rohan, Everett. We've now got Avishkar Salvi, who's helping with the fast bowlers. And it seems to be really, really working well. We've brought in some old hands like Amir Kalim, who's coming in and playing, and he's doing a wonderful job. Of course, our 2 bowlers, Kawar and Shani, the captain, have been just fantastic in the past few days. So in the ODI series, yes, we've again made our mark. We had a superb series in Scotland. We're very pleased with how the boys performed under the conditions, both weather and
slightly different to here in Muscat.
A few degrees, plus or minus a couple of degrees, but it was more like 15 degrees, 14 degrees in Scotland and 29 gusty winds. So it was something very different from what we normally used to.
Yeah, changing bowling here at the Muscat end, and we brought the hero from yesterday into the attack. That's Kawar Ali with his leg breaks. He bowled a beautiful delivery past the outside edge of Sampal Kami, the first one, and then a misfield from Bilal Khan at short fine leg allowed him to get back for 2. But a real historic day yesterday, because it was not just the first hat-trick for an Oman international, the first one in associate men's cricket in T20 internationals, and the first one ever with the first 3 deliveries of a spell. And just as I say that, he's found yet another wicket. It's what he keeps somehow managing to do. Kawar Ali, 4 wickets yesterday, his T20 international career best, and this time he's found yet another wicket, and he's rooted out Sampal Kami, caught in deep square leg. Here's the replay. The 8th wicket falls for Nepal. I don't think Kawar Ali's going to mind me saying it wasn't the best delivery. He's going to bowl a little bit shorter, but that doesn't matter. Pulled into the deep, wicket is in the book.
That is correct, Andrew. It feels good to see the boys really capitalizing on all the hard work that they've done. It's good that they're enjoying their cricket. It's good that there's such a lot of camaraderie between them. It's a hot pot of cultures, of nationalities, of their ethnic backgrounds. But that's what makes Oman so special, both from the Oman cricket team point of view and Oman as a country point of view. We're kind of a country which has open arms, and we're friends of everyone, and we believe that everyone needs to live in harmony.
Let me take you back a few years to the 2015 World T20 qualifier hosted in Ireland and Scotland. Oman came into that tournament, I think, as the lowest ranked of the 14 competing sides, and whilst it might not have come as a huge surprise to some of the local supporters of the game like yourself, certainly on the world scale, it was an absolutely massive shock as you beat Namibia to spark those jubilant scenes of celebration, everyone running on the pitch there in Malahide. And they not just qualified, they went on to represent their country with great esteem in the World T20 up in Dharamsala in India. Tell us about that story of that team and how they did manage to qualify in 2015.
That was really a dream run. You're going into a tournament having just about made it to the 14th place out of 14 teams, and going in there as a complete you know,
Underdog,
rank outsider, and we were happy doing that. You know, when we went into there, we said the last time we went to Ireland, the cold got us. I don't know whether the wickets got us or whether the bowlers got us or the batsmen didn't play well.
The Irish breeze.
The cold certainly had got us, and we remembered that very well. And we said the bowlers just couldn't grip the ball.
Yep.
So this time he said, let's go in for a preparatory camp, and we went to County Cork in the Republic of Ireland.
Down to Munster.
And courtesy our friends at the MCC in London, they put us up with one of their partner counties, and we went and stayed there. And we said, you know, by the way, we just also need to understand that seam wickets in England and in the Isles over there are not the same as the seam wickets anywhere else in the world. The ball moves considerably more, and it's not about how fast you bowl, it's how well you move the ball around laterally. So we said, who can we get in? And then again we asked MCC and said, you know, there's a person called Derek Pringle, maybe he could help. So we brought Derek in to help our seamers, and our seamers bowled so well, so proud of them, that we, step after step, one match after the other, we just got getting better. And we had some fantastic games. We beat Afghanistan, we were there, we beat Namibia there, we had a super game against Netherlands. So, you know, it was a dream run. I remember I saw the first two games, and I went back and I said, you know, it's summer, and I need to be with the family. You know, I've been traveling so much for work, and I should go away. And I actually went away, leaving my parents behind alone in Scotland. And after the few wins, my father called back. He said, get your butt right here.
You've got
and
to be
I
here.
actually got on the flight from India and flew back, leaving my family behind, and went back straight to Dublin for the two games. And
the playoff matches.
And the fantastic game we saw against Namibia was really the culminating, you know, of all hard work. And then we went to Dharamshala, and there we had a fantastic run as well. We got Ireland in what was supposedly one of the best ODI T20 games ever played, part of that World Cup build-up. And here we go again.
Yeah, this could be the 9th wicket. It's going to be. Amir Kaleem continues to work his magic. A really poor shot, to be honest, from Sandeep Lamachani. He's going to fall for 2. And yet another wicket. This is turning into a rout. Here comes the replay. 10 overs gone. It's now 62 for 9, remarkably. It was tossed up slowly into the air and too tempting for Sandeep Lamachani. He looked to hit it into the leg side, but all he could do was scoop up an easy catch to Mohammad Nadeem at extra cover. And Lamachani, we'll see him bowl his leg breaks in a little bit, but Amir Kaleem's got 4 for 13, so another career best. The 3rd in 3 days for the Omani bowlers. These spin bowlers are really weaving their magic. They know these home conditions so well.
Well, you know, they sure are doing a lot of that, and we always thought that our fast bowlers was something that we were proud of. But now the spinners have obviously made their mark, or making their mark rather, and making me eat my words earlier on, as I said. But yes, going back to Dharamshala, that was a fantastic series. Actually, that was probably the time after the Ireland-Scotland qualifiers that Dharamshala really put Oman on a recognition path within the ICC, where ICC suddenly said, you know, that wasn't just a fluke where they went from 14 to 6, but the fact that they played in Dharamshala was something exceptional. And we played under conditions where I wouldn't say hostile, but the weather wasn't all that great either in Dharamshala.
Yeah, a couple of the games washed out, indeed. Yeah, the Netherlands going out thanks to the rain.
Unfortunately, that, you know, had we got that a couple of games, I don't know, maybe we could have gone. I wish it had rained against Bangladesh so that we would have got 1 point. And
Exactly.
I wish we had played against Netherlands and got 2 over there. But all the same, yeah, we had a fantastic run. And then from there was no looking back.
Looking ahead now, just finally, to the T20 World Cup qualifier that's coming up in the UAE starting next week. How are you going to cope with going from this underdog status, where complete unknowns on a global scale, into a qualifier where no one expected you to qualify, where realistically you're probably going into this tournament, particularly after this week with the Pentangular series, probably joint favourites with Scotland going into the event, you'll be looking for qualification at a minimum?
Yeah, I would hope so. I think we're not having any expectations. All we want to do is go back and play our normal good cricket where the bowlers bowl to plan, the batsmen bat sensibly, and we field well. I mean, those are the three main ingredients. So, whatever is said and done, if we can get our
really good fielding in the deep there. I'm just going to interrupt you for 1 second because that was outstanding, right on the fence from Mohammad Naseem, showing the commitment. Even though Nepal are 9 down, every run still counts, and he saved 2 there. Please continue.
Yeah, so I think if we can just follow the same kind of pathway that we've followed so far in terms of making sure that our basics are right, our bowlers bowl to their strength, and our batsmen hang in there, the top 6 batsmen really contribute. We don't see any problem. We see, at this moment in time, all our 15, 16, 17 are playing well.
And there's one man who's playing well on your screen because he's just taken a 5-wicket haul. Amir Kaleem has taken his first ever career T20I 5-wicket haul. He's proved far too good for Avinash Bahara. He's cleaned up the off stump. We're going to bring you the replay. It just skidded on with the arm. It was flatter through the air. Bahara looked to heave it into the leg side, and inside of 11 overs, Nepal have been bowled all out for 64. And with that, I think it might be time to pay a huge thank you and a fond farewell to Mr. Pankaj Kimji. He's the Senior Director of the Oman Cricket Board, such a huge part of this story. And what a wonderful story it is. All we can say to you is we wish you well, not just this afternoon, closing out the victory here in the Pentangular, but in the T20 World Cup qualifier, and hopefully on to Australia in 2020.
Thank you, Andrew. I look forward to seeing you in Australia.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kimji. It was fascinating to hear his thoughts as he gave us all the background and the information about this rather remarkable story that is Oman cricket, and the story just continues to get more remarkable. Oman have just bowled Nepal out for 64. Remember, this is a Nepal side that have won their first 2 matches. I'm just going to show you the celebrations as the side go off the pitch to great acclaim. And the reason there's so much acclaim is because they have bowled Nepal out for 64. They have absolutely routed this Nepal side. One of the lowest totals in Nepal's T20I history. And Paras Khadka, the Nepal captain there, just checking with the umpires, will they go straight out? And we're going to bring you all the details of the scorecard now. Fascinating hearing the thoughts of Mr. Kimji. He's been so instrumental in this story of Nepal cricket. But let's take a look at the card. And outside of Mohammad Arif Sheikh's 20, Dipender Singh Airi's 11, really nothing to shout about for Nepal. Everyone else in single-figure scores. It's been a day they're not going to want to remember. They've been bowled out for 64. And as I'm rejoined here by Jamil Zaidi, that was an outstanding bowling performance from Oman.
I don't know. I'm really mesmerized by the way the Nepali batsmen got out. It is totally unbelievable way. I mean, I have never ever seen. I have been with the Oman national team as a manager for about 7 years and played a lot of cricket against Nepal, but they never ever crumbled against us like the one which they have did today. Absolutely fantastic bowling by Amir Kaleem, supported by Bilal. I don't know what happens to the Nepal's batting. Really, it is very, very unbelievable way they got out to 64.
Yeah, it's his 17th T20 international, Amir Kaleem, the 37-year-old. And it's a day he won't forget because it's his career best. You can see the figures there on your screen. 5 for 15. He's going to finish with, well supported by Bilal Khan with 2 wickets. Mohammad Nadeem and Kawar Ali with a wicket apiece. And of course, that catastrophic run out where the 2 batsmen ended up at the same end. So that's the state of play here at the halfway stage of the match. It looks for certain like Oman are going to run out winners of this tournament. And they're going to run out unbeaten winners because they're just going to need 65 runs. We'll be back with you with the second innings in the chase in about 5 to 10 minutes' time. Welcome back and good afternoon. You're joining me, Andrew Leonard, here with Cricket Clubs Live and Oman Cricket, bringing you these pictures of the final game, in fact the final innings now of the Oman Pentangular series. It's the 10th of October. It's just approaching about 3:15 local time, and if you're just joining us, you've missed 45 minutes or just under an hour of the most remarkable action, as Amir Kaleem has inspired the hosts Oman to rout Nepal all out for just 64. Their second lowest total in T20I history for Nepal. Only been bowled out for a smaller total once in their history. That was by Ireland back in 2015 when they were bowled out in Stormont for just 53. But they're going to need some miracles from their magic man, Sandeep Lamachani, who's on your screen. He'll be opening the bowling with his leg breaks. He's been outstanding. He's the leading wicket taker in T20 international cricket this week. Not this week, this year. He's had a really good week as well. Good against Ireland. Also a 4-wicket haul in Nepal's victory over the Netherlands. So 64 all out for Nepal. Here comes Lamachani. He starts immediately inside edge onto the pad. We've just had a big crowd start to filter in, pushing towards the end of the workday. A lot of these fans not supporting the home side Oman, but a lot of them passionate Nepalese fans in the crowd. So opening the bowling for Nepal is Sandeep Lamachani, but opening the batting for the hosts Oman is Kaur Ali, the man who took that hat-trick yesterday. He's off the mark, he's on a single, and Aqib Ilyas at the non-striker's end. Short ball pulled away, and Lamachani is yet another wicket. And there's a huge crowd, possibly the biggest cheer of the week, because all of the Nepal fans who flocked here to the Al Emirates Cricket Ground have what they want. They have an early wicket. And Sandeep Lamachani, no surprise that it's him who's taken it. We'll bring you the replay here now. Wasn't the greatest delivery from Lamachani. He just dragged it down a little bit, but looked for the pull shot, Aqib Ilyas, and he could only pick out Sampal Kami at mid-wicket. Is there a bit of hope for Nepal in this game? Could we have a low-scoring thriller? 64 is all Nepal have on the board. Remarkable scenes. I'm joined again, as I have been throughout the last couple of days, by the great man to my right, Jamil Zaidi. Not the start Oman would have wanted.
Yeah, nobody wants this sort of start. A similar way to Nepal has done, but it was not a good delivery, Andrew. I think it had to be over the mid-wicket boundary, but I think he mistimed it. Straight catch to Sampal at short mid-wicket. 1 for 1 Oman.
If you have any chance of defending a low total, you need early wickets, but surely this low total is going to be too little for Nepal to defend. But no surprise to see them go to their star man, Sandeep Lamachani. He can't stop taking wickets of recent times. Such a talent, and remarkably still just 19 years of age. I was talking to him yesterday in between the matches. He said he'd barely been home over the last 12 months and he felt like he was constantly on the road, but looking forward to getting back home to Nepal to see his family over the coming weeks. That's of course because Nepal aren't in the T20 World Cup qualifier. It comes as a surprise to many people, but Lamachani has already taken 9 wickets this week. He's a man in form as the new man to the crease. Amir Kaleem, he was the star with the ball. The first 5-wicket haul in the history of Oman cricket in T20Is.
Yes, absolutely. Fantastic bowling from him. He's always among the wickets, but of course not the way he got today. 5 wickets is of course a big achievement for him and also for Oman.
Hit early into the offside, but it's going to be a boundary, it looks like, although Karen Casey is chasing. And he's going to be able to just pull it in with the foot before the rope, so he'll keep it to just 2 runs. Just for a moment, you felt that Sampal Kami at extra cover might have been in the game. We'll bring you the replay. It was another short one from Lamachani. We've seen him try to bowl slowly through the air, but it was to the left of Sampal Kami, and Karen KC did well to cut off the boundary 4. Quicker this time through the air. Really good start from the phenom that is Sandeep Lamachani. Another wicket for him. End of the first over. Oman 3 for 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in last 2 days, 3 remarkable performances from the bowlers itself has really bring a lot of fame for all 3 bowlers. Khawar Ali got a hat-trick yesterday, and the only bowler in the associate members who got a hat-trick in T20. And then Zishan Maqsood, magical figures of 4 wickets for just 7 runs in 3 overs. And today Abid Kaleem did a magnificent job. 5 wickets all is always a big achievement for any bowler.
Yeah, big smile on Sandeep Lamachani's face as he comes down towards our commentary position. Gives us a thumb up and a little tongue out. Confidence just ebbing through his veins. He's going to be joined by Karen KC in opening the bowling. Another man in form. He did just threaten with the bat today at one point. I thought he was going to be able to try and salvage that Nepal innings, but just wasn't to be today. 64 all out, but that early wicket from Lamachani just giving them some hope.
He is one of the best all-rounders Nepal team has got. He got 4 wickets apiece in 2 matches, and then that memorable win for Nepal against Netherlands in the last over.
Yeah, good start from Karen KC, and good to see Paris Kadka on the attack as well. There's a slip in place. Arif Sheikh. Nepal must know they need wickets.
They don't have any option, right? To full attack, and then it may be, success for them as they did in the first over. No option except to go for full attack. 64 is a very low total in any form of cricket.
That's a lovely straight drive from Khawar Ali, showing that his skills are not just with his leg breaks. Straight down the ground, they'll come back for 2. Interesting that the pitch seems to have taken a little bit more turn in the afternoon. Yes. On both days, yesterday afternoon, the Omani spinners dominating, and today again.
Today also, I think the first delivery Javed Karim bowled, it turned a bit more than expectations. But most of the balls he bowled were almost a straighter one, not turning too much, Andrew.
Short ball from Karen KC. Going to be signalled wide, just going above the head. Just getting a few messages from some of the Nepal fans on social media. I want to read you one of them here. Will you please convey this message to the Nepal team? However we play, we will bounce back. Good luck, team. We will always have faith in you no matter what you do. No matter what the total is, we are ready to fight till the end. Isn't that a good message to receive?
Well, I think Nepali fans are supporting them in all conditions, except for today's one, because my friend Shalindra is really upset today.
Good tight stuff from Karen KC, but really need to find the breakthroughs here in Nepal, and they're going to need to find them in this power play, this first 6 overs. Remember, Nepal were 6 wickets down inside the power play. Some of the shot selection from the upper order, I have to say it was a little questionable. They continued to attack.
Except, I think, the first over with Bilal bowled and second over with just 2 short pitch deliveries. The other wickets, I think it's totally a sort of, misjudgment and early playing their shot rather than to keep the wickets intact.
Brilliant fielding at extra cover. The direct hit would have been close and sent it upstairs to the third umpire. This is a youthful Nepal side that they've picked, one with far more energy than previous times, and that was Sampal Kami, who picked up cleanly at extra cover. Tried to throw down the stumps, and if he did, it would have been very close indeed. We would have been going upstairs to the third umpire. Well backed up in the deep.
I was with the national team Oman for about 7 years as manager, and I've never ever seen
more outstanding fielding. This time coming in the deep. That's deep square leg. That's Sandeep Jora out there, diving full length to his right. Remarkably restricted to just 1 run. Saved the boundary, got up onto his feet quickly, and threw the ball in to bring the left-handed Amir Kaleem onto strike.
Talking about the Nepal team, I told you that I've been with the national team for almost 6-7 years, and so many times we have played against Nepal. It was never ever easy for us to take victory against them. They're always fighting till the last ball. But today's performance is obviously one of the worst I've ever seen from the Nepal.
Tight stuff from Karen KC. Just 4 runs coming from the over. So Nepal scrapping hard here already. At the end of the second over, Oman 7 for 1. Surely on a cakewalk to an unbeaten series here.
Yes, of course. A splendid performance, all-round performance from them. They have excelled in every department, bowling, batting and fielding. And I hope that they should carry this form into the World Cup T20 qualifiers, where the things will be slightly different from here. Everybody will be trying hard till the last drops of blood of the team and the players, that they should not let any team to win easily.
Lamachani's going to continue, and I think that's the right thing to do. They're going to have to try and search for wickets, even if they need to bowl Lamachani out early here. Beautifully bowled. We've seen the problems that leg spin have caused all week. Wickets, not just for Lamachani. Gareth Delaney of Ireland taking wickets. And of course, Kawar Ali of Oman. So important leg spin in the modern T20 game.
Yes, he has done a remarkable job in the last couple of years for Oman as a bowler. He is a opening batsman for Oman.
Almost a mix-up, but they will get through for the single. We don't want to ruin the anticipation of Oman winning this match, but just going to give you a little bit of an update from Bertus de Jong, who sent me a tweet. Certainly one of the finest cricket journalists in Europe, without doubt, and he's told me that actually by the arithmetic, even if Oman had been bowled out for 0, they would still take the title on net run rate, but they won't be looking to do that. They'll be looking to take the win and ensure that they go unbeaten onto the T20 World Cup qualifiers.
Yes, sweet tweet from your friend. Absolutely, he's right. The way the things are going in favor of Oman.
That's hit away early into the offside. Not a huge amount of power. They're going to chase hard. That's Dipender Singh Ari. Brilliant fielding again, and so well backed up by Sampal Kami. Look at this youthful Nepal side in the field. They might have their struggles with the bat and their problems with the bat, but you can see why there's an enthusiasm for the future there. Really good work by Dipender Singh Ari and Sampal Kami.
Absolute. Brilliant work from Dipender. I'm telling you, they are really fighters on Nepali team, and they will not let this 64 runs to be scored easily by Oman.
That's the googly from Sandeep Lamachani. Really well watched and more outstanding fielding. That's getting the crowd going. That's Sandeep Jura again. He's already had one outstanding stop.
I think Oman has to be very patient in getting this so small total of 64.
Looks for the sweep, thuds into the pad. There's going to be leg buys here, I suspect. Only time for a single. We'll wait for the umpire's signal. It is indeed leg buys.
10 for 1. Over number 3 is on. Lamachani, one of the finest leg spinners in the world, is bowling now. His second over and got first wicket in his first over of Aqib Ilyas.
Nicely bowled by Lamachani. You can see he's just searching for the wickets, getting the full bag of tricks from him. We had the googly there to the left-hander, but it was well read by Amir Kaleem. You know, man, with such a low total to chase, they don't need to do anything silly. Just going to have a slight break in play at the end of the over. Lamachani completes his second over. He's got 1 for 6. The break in play is going to be a change in bat. I'm not sure Kawar Ali likes the one he's got, so he said he's going to take a brand new one.
11 for 1. Oman chasing a modest target of 64. And the last over bowled by Lamachani was a good one. I hope that Oman should carry all these outstanding performances they had in this Pentangular T20 tournament up to the T20 qualifiers in UAE, where it looks from the way they are performing that they might go to Australia, as Pankaj Khemji has correctly said, that we will be seeing you in Australia. So I hope they should do that, keeping their excellent form.
Yeah, that's the points table on your screen. I'm just giving you a very quick look at. As Karen KC comes in and is dispatched by Amir Kaleem, the low full toss. It was the attempted slower ball. Hammered away into the offside.
Yes, it was a low full toss. Nicely played over the cover boundary for 4 by Amir Kaleem.
Yeah, that's the points table. So one thing is for certain, Oman are going to finish top of this Oman Pentangular series. Whatever happens here, even if they somehow miraculously lose here to Nepal, their net run rate will keep them on top. But they'll be looking to take the win. Edged and not edged. A huge appeal from Karen KC and the keeper Binod Bandari. They felt they had their man, but the standing umpire was unmoved. There was a noise, certainly. Let's see if we can bring you the replay of that one. Yeah, certainly very close to the bat as Kaleem looked to cut it away, but the two standing umpires out there, both unmoved. That's Rahul Asher and Vinod Babu. Hari Krishna, the third umpire. Short ball pulled into the deep. There's a fielder out there. And whether that was out or not is not going to matter, because the loud cheers you're hearing in the background, this big crowd that's filtered into the Al Emirat ground, they're all cheering for Nepal, really. Yes, that's the second wicket.
They are fighting valiantly. Nepali bowlers and fielders did extremely well so far. Lamichane got the wicket they're looking for in the very first over, and now Karan Casey has got Amir Kaleem out right in the hands of deep square leg boundary.
Yeah, we'll bring you the replay. It was a short ball from Karen KC, and Amir Kaleem was tempted into the trap. He pulled it from outside the off stump. It was a top edge, and it was really a simple catch for Dipender Singh Airi out there at deep backward square leg. He couldn't have picked him out better if he tried.
Yeah, I think I'm sure the things will not be that much easy for Oman the way things are going to get 64 runs, though it is the modest total. But I think they have to struggle a bit the way the things are going in 4 overs, 2 wicket down, 15 on the board.
Jamil, are you getting nervous beside me?
No, I know.
You said that Oman historically sometimes have struggled to chase scores, and you're a bit of a nervous watcher.
Absolutely right, but not the total 64 if they did it today, so of course. It will be disaster for me as well.
Just 64 on the board from Nepal, but they really are fighting valiantly. 2 wickets inside 4 overs, 1 for Karen KC, 1 for Sandeep Lamachani. And Paris Khadka is going to continue to attack, because the slip's going to come into place from the leg side. This
is the right technique now for them to attack.
Short ball again, pulled away. It is aerially, but it's going to be 1 bounce just for a moment. That large Nepal contingent in the crowd was getting excited. Just such a shame, isn't it, that we don't have a high-scoring affair to end the week. It's been such a good week of cricket. We might have a low-scoring thriller instead, but the big crowd that's coming in, they wanted to see some big hits.
Yeah. Hong Kong was out for 67 the first opening for Oman. Just 3 runs more than what Nepal has done today. But it was quite easily done by Oman by losing 2 wickets. But now they are 16 for 2. Number 4 over is on.
Just worked into the leg side by the new batsman. That's Suraj Kumar. He's in at number 4. Kaur Ali, the opener. Leg spinning all-rounder. He's still there as well. Do you think it is a trait of the associate game that the bowling tends to be a little bit stronger than the batting?
As of now, if you feel that Oman team has the balanced in bowling and batting both. And that's the thing which is working out for them in this tournament.
Good work from Karen KC, cutting off the single. So another tight over, 6 runs coming from it, and crucially the wicket. So Oman 17 for 2 after 4. We saw a little bit in the Tri-Series in Ireland. I know Ireland no longer an associate nation, but still a developing nation very much now. They're have test status from the ICC. But batting was really the strength that week. A lot of power hitting between the Irish, Scottish and and Dutch sides, particularly a power-packed opening duo for Scotland, George Munsey and Kyle Coates. But Ireland have added a power hit into their game, and we saw it today throughout the morning game as the Netherlands really started to show what depth they have in their batting. Roelof van der Merwe promoted up the order with 50, Tobias Fossé making 68. And that innings from Scott Edwards, 42 off just 21. But certainly there have been some struggles for the batsmen here this week. You referred to Hong Kong.
Netherlands, Ireland, Scotland, they are all very top teams in the associate member. But rather, I'm sorry, this Ireland has got the test as well. Scotland also has got the same thing.
That's a glorious shot from Suraj Kumar. It wasn't a bad delivery from Sandeep Lamachani. A regulation leg break outside the off stump, but treated with real disdain from Suraj Kumar, driven gracefully along the ground. Through the offside, it beat the cover fielder and just raced away to the boundary.
Beautiful delivery from beautiful drive from Suraj Kumar, piercing the extra cover and cover fielders.
Good comeback from Lamachani. I think that was the wrong one. Just squared up Kumar. All the variations that Lamachani has, he just seems to continue to take wickets wherever he is right the way around the world.
(21 for 2), number 5 over is on.
Remarkably, the two leading wicket takers in T20 international cricket this year are both from Nepal. Sandeep Lamachani has 28 wickets now at the average of 13, but Karan KC is having a superb year as well. He's taken 26 wickets. He's in second place. Beautifully bowled, beats him outside the off stump with a lovely leg break, and Suraj Kumar practices the leave.
Lovely bowling from Lamachani. He is one of the best leg spinners and has got more experience than any other player in the Nepali side because he's played all over the world and using all his experience right now.
So beautifully bowled there by Lamachani that our graphics man getting a bit excited, thinking it might have found the outside edge. Googly this time, coming back in to the right-handed Kumar. The problem for Nepal is that Sandeep Lamachani's already bowled 3 of his allocation of 4 overs. What do you do if you're Paris Khadka? Do you just keep going, bowl him out?
Well, I think there's no other choice for them because he's the top bowler for them. And if he gets another 1 or 2 wickets, then I think the things will be in balance.
Yeah, it's a really good over. Just the boundary coming from it off the first ball, followed up by 5 dots. So Lamachani's got 1 for 10 from his 3 overs. Oman, though, they moved to 21 for 2 after 5. And if they can just keep their wickets in hand, they're going to go through this week unbeaten. A perfect 4 from 4.
Yes, of course, yes. They should not done any hurry in their batting. Quietly, by single and doubles, they can come up with this total of 64. Any action or any hurry in their batting will not be good for them. Though, again, I said the 64 is a very, very modest total.
"51 T20 internationals over the coming 3 weeks between the 14 sides. They'll be playing out for T20 World Cup qualification. What a feast of cricket at the associate level. The solitary test nation in there is Ireland. They'll be one of the favourites, but you'd have to think with the way Oman have performed this week in similar conditions, you'd like to think that Oman are going to be right in the mix as favourites as well. A change of bowling for Nepal. Coming into the attack now is Sushan Bharti, who's been brought into the side in place of Lalit Rajbanshi. A bit of a surprise for me, that, given how well Rajbanshi bowled yesterday.
Yes, I was also thinking about him, why he has not been bowled that much, that is required to be, especially the last overs.
Yeah, of course, Basant Regmi not here, and recently retired Shakti Gochan. So that army of left-arm spinners, the left-arm spin production line that Nepal seems to just keep bringing to international cricket continues in the form of Sushan Bharti. He's a little bit older than Lalit Rajbanshi. Rajbanshi just 20 years of age. impressive Everest Premier League campaign that got him into the international reckoning. Off the inside edge. Almost half a chance. Direct hit's going to be close. It's all happening out there despite this low total. Single to the score.
As I told you, Nepali fielders are tigers in the field, and today they are showing that why they are that much famous in the world. Just a modest total of 64, but really they are giving heart out from their players.
You think about the quality of batsmen in particular that Nepal don't have on their side here. Gyanendra Malla, Sharad Vasakar, you know, real veterans of Nepal's side over recent years. They've gone with the youthful option for these two tours, the tour of Singapore. They're trying to build up the next generation. I suppose the Nepal fans listening and watching around the world, you're just going to have to be patient with them. With youth comes inexperience, and is going to come the occasional day like today. They've been bowled all out for 64. Just the two singles from that over. That ends the power play. Oman not doing this in a hurry. They're 23 for 2.
I think they are doing the right thing at the moment. As far as Nepal's batting is concerned, I think most of their batting revolves around their skipper, Paras Khatka, and this number 3 batsman, Arif, and of course, Binod Bhandari. And Karan Kesey is, of course, yes, a potential winner for them in the later part of the game, and it's coming late in the batting order.
Yeah, I suppose that the fact that Malla and Vasakar have been left out, the second and third leading run scorers in their T20 international history after Paras Khatka, just shows that the selectors in Nepal willing to build for the future. I've no doubt that we haven't seen the end of both Malla and Vasakar. They'll be back in the domestic competitions in Nepal, scoring big weight of runs, no doubt. But Malla's just 29 years of age, Sharad Vasakar just 31. So plenty of cricket left in them. But also plenty of hope for the future. We're going to see a change in bowling from the Al Emirat end. Sampal Kami's going to come into the attack with his seamers. Sandeep Lamachani just held back. He's bowled 3 overs, bowled really nicely. They'll keep an over to spare for him.
Well, I think if you have bowled the 4th over, it will not be that much bad, you know. Because batsmen are under pressure.
Clipped off his legs and into the leg side. Dipender Singh Ari doing the sweeper fielding. Good throw in, keeps it to just a single. Yeah, look, in terms of positives this week for Nepal, you have to look at the fielding. I think if they were offered 2 wins out of 4 at the start of the week, they might have been happy with it, but there's just that lingering disappointment not getting across the line against Ireland yesterday. That would have been a historic first win over a test nation for them. And they really were in the ascendancy.
They were very come closer to the victory. But later on, I think excellent batting by Netherlands just kept them away from that historic win.
Yeah, I suppose Ireland's total wasn't a huge 145, and when Nepal reached 73 for 2 after 10 overs, I really sensed a big upset coming. But all that experience of George Dockrell came to the fore, and perhaps the pitch just slowing up as the day wore a little bit later. But the inexperience this Nepal side has just counted against them.
Yeah, up to halfway through yesterday, match was evenly poised for both the teams. But later on, again, as you correctly said, the experience of Ireland team just...
You could tell that on the faces of the Irish fielders as well, there was a panic setting in. 73 for 2 after 10 overs. You should always go on and win the game, at least double your score from the 10 over mark. But they fell away so drastically that they were in fact bowled out with a delivery to spare. Hit down the ground, could be a chance. Sandeep Lamachani's at mid-on, he runs back. It's going to be back for 2. But just for a moment when that came off the bat, you just thought it might have been a chance. Good pace from Sampal Kami.
Yeah, yesterday Dockrell bowled extremely well during his 4 overs and brought the game into the hands of Ireland. Some brilliant bowling from him in the later stages of the game, where the match was evenly poised. He bowled exceedingly well to get some wickets also. I think he took 3 wickets yesterday, and that is also vital wickets of Dockrell. He just gave a big problem to the Nepalese batsmen.
Short ball again, carved towards third man, taken. That's the third wicket. Big celebrations from the Nepal crowd. They believe. Do Nepal believe? Can they drag themselves back into this game? We've seen wickets aplenty. That's the 13th wicket of the day, the third for Oman. Falling. It was the attempted cup shot from Karar Ali. He never looked convincing at the crease. Let's have a look at the replay. Sampal Kami dropped it short. It was short and wide. He threw the kitchen sink at it, but he could only pick a fielder at third man who holds on to a good catch.
It's not an easy, as I said in the beginning, that Nepal will not let you go through with, cakewalk for the 64 runs. Oman has to sweat out to come back to the 64 runs. And in the making, 3 wickets down, 26 for 3. Some excellent fielding, superb bowling by Nepal kept them quiet at the moment. And again, they have to be very patient and go for the singles or doubles rather than going for the boundaries.
Karen KC it was, taking the catch in the deep. Surely we're not going to see more late drama in a Nepal match. It seems like every game they play is a thriller, constantly keeping their fans right the way around the world on panic watching mode. Just think if Nepal had 100 or 120 on the board now, we'd have a real game in our hands.
Absolutely. I was expecting them to score about 130, 140 between that. That will be a very good total to defend as far as Nepal is concerned, with some brilliant fielding and batting.
Short ball pulled into the deep. Shouts of catch it, but Dipender Singh is out at deep square leg. It was never carrying to him. A really good over from Sampal Kami, bowling with some pace and aggression. Some hostility, 4 runs coming from it. And the wicket, Oman, 27 for 3.
Yeah, Mohammad Naseem came back into the team after a long break. He's a very, very hard-hitting batsman and brought so many matches for Oman in the dying moments of the game. And he is giving in one more chance this time into the team. And let us see how he works out for this modest total of 64. 27 for 3 Oman, 7 overs gone.
I'm just going to read you something from Peter Barron that's popped up on my Twitter feed. The former Dutch captain who we were talking about earlier. There's a few Nepal fans filter into the ground with their beautiful, differently shaped flag. Karen Casey back into the attack. Hits on the pad. It's a huge appeal. Given not out. Sheer desperation in that appeal. First slip, Arif Sheikh even fell to his knees. He was certain it was out. Let's take a look at the replay. How close was this? Karen KC hits him right in front of middle. And I don't know about you, but to me, that looks like it's going on to hit middle stump.
It was a very close call. And obviously, the LBW is the only decision which is very difficult to judge from outside.
The interesting thing about that decision, it certainly wasn't missing leg stump and it wasn't missing off stump. The only thing possibly could have been height.
Yeah, possibly.
Mohammad Naseem survives, but you can see why there was such desperation in the appeal, and it's just outstanding captaincy now from Paris Kadki. He's really going on the attack. He's brought a gully in as well. That's Ishan Pandey.
Yes.
He's going all out in the hunt for these wickets. He's going to one of his key men, Karen KC.
Yeah. Paris is a very cool captain. He always kept his cool in hand.
Hit into the deep. It's in the air. There's a fielder out there. Taken. That's the 4th wicket. Nepal are starting to believe now. The 12th, 13th and 14th men are running on the pitch. The crowd goes wild. Would you believe it? Oman are in trouble. They're 27 for 4. Karen KC's doing it again.
It's absolutely, once again, some, what you call the...
Here's the replay. It was the short ball pulled into the deep. Only came off the splice of the bat. So that LBW decision ends up costing no runs at all. And Oman, they're just having a bit of a wobble.
Yes, at the moment looks like that. 27 of 4. It's very, very bad for Oman. I mean, somebody has to be there, kept the score run, scoring by single and doubles rather than going for the big shots. And so far, I think all the players are played big shots and got out. So they had to be there on the wicket, going for singles and doubles, and just go through this 64 total, which looks so modest. But right now, it is 50-50.
Sandeep Goode, the new man to the crease, joining Suraj Kubar. Yeah, I'm just going to read you that tweet from Peter Boren, the former Dutch captain and real icon of associate cricket. What he says about the qualifier coming up: Netherlands, Oman, Scotland, UAE and Ireland are certainties to qualify. For me, people will say T20, you never know. But given the comprehensive tournament format, the best teams will make it. Namibia, perhaps a less certain sixth spot. And he thinks that Singapore might cause an upset or two to grab that last spot. PNG, Canada, Bermuda, Jersey, Hong Kong, Kenya and Nigeria to compete amongst themselves for the lower half. So Peter Boren is not sitting on the fence. He's naming Netherlands, Oman, Scotland, UAE and Ireland certainties to qualify. But back here, we have a game on.
Yes, of course, absolutely. Now with this fourth wicket down, the game is on. Once again, all credits to the Nepali bowlers and fielders and their ability to fight at the last ball of the match to be bowled.
This is the same wicket we were describing as a belter earlier on, as the Netherlands were making 170, 180. But Nepal, with their magic man as captain, Paris Khadke, is just making something happen. Slip is in place. We've got a gully in as well. Can Karen KC find a fifth wicket? He's really threatening. Looks for the quick single. Paris Khadke picks up. Direct hit would have been out. Certainly would have been close. Nepal fielders fall to their knees. Their hands are on the head. Dramatic scenes here in Al Emirat.
It's not an easy for any team to go, outright to victory against Nepal of any total. 64, though it's very modest, but they are fighting out with their heart out. Brilliant fielding, excellent bowling, and good catching. And some bad batting from Omani batsmen. I am very much sure that they should not do it again, the rest of the batsmen. They can go look for the singles and doubles to come through this small total.
Beautifully bowled by Karen KC. An outstanding over, just the solitary run coming from it. And that run, it could have been a run out. Paris Khadke was quick to the ball. He picked it up brilliantly. Probably only had one stump to aim at. And at the end of 8 overs, Oman 28 for 4. And they're just wobbling. If Nepal could find a fifth or sixth wicket, I'm telling you something, they're in the game.
Yes. As of now, the interest has come back from Nepali fans as well. And the team as well. I mean, 4 wickets in just a matter of 8 overs with 28 runs on the board. I'm sure that the remaining Omani batsmen should play responsibility, go for singles and doubles, and make the things easy for them rather than making it more difficult. The way the things are going so far, they have played not good shots to get them out. All the shots have been played which they can avoid. Instead of playing hooks, they can just tapped it down and left it out to the...
Sampal Kami is going to continue. So interesting that Nepal aren't going with their spin attack, which they're so well renowned for. They're backing Karen KC and Sampal Kami, their seamers, to get it done.
So they are bowling superbly, just according to the situation and as per the instruction set by their captain, Paris Khadke, and they're bowling accordingly. He's a fighting captain, never give up.
Nicely bowled by Sampal Kami, really hitting that bat hard. And the thing that's impressed me so much about Nepal is, despite this incredibly low total of 64 they're trying to defend, they've gone out with intent. And they're really fighting their hearts out, particularly in the field.
Yeah, if any other team would have been there, they would have been not that much energetic and fighting the way the Nepal is fighting now. And this is their ability. I told you, it's not easy for anyone to get victory for such a modest total.
Short ball again. That's better batting from Oman. Just dropping that down for the single. That's all they need to do. They don't need to hit the big shots. We've had 2 or 3 of their men, in fact 3 of their men caught in the deep, perhaps playing unnecessary shots they didn't need to.
Yes, that was all the bad shots, bad selection of the shots the lead batsman has done. They should not go for the boundary, they just go for the single and doubles, which comes very easily. The field is spread out, you know, deep mid-wicket. There is no one in the mid-wicket, short mid-wicket side.
Really nicely bowled, and we're seeing some proper cricket here. It's not often you see old-fashioned slip and gully in place in a T20 international, a fast bowler coming in and bowling back of a length. We often see adventurous shots, ramps, scoop shots, fielders in ridiculous positions, but this is an old-fashioned T20I here.
Very rare to see in T20 such types of field placement. But again, I told you that they have the only way to get the batsman under pressure by putting lot of pressure on them, keeping close fielders on.
Hit early into the offside. There is a man at deep point. In fact, if point was in the ring, I probably would have been straight to him. That's why Sampal Kami just had his hands on his knees in desperation there momentarily. Oman still not halfway towards this total. Those graphics are right at the bottom of your screen. The ball were bowled out for 64, and Oman are struggling to chase it at the moment.
Yeah, seems to be at the moment, correct. You're absolutely right. They should have their nerves, go for the singles as double time and again.
Short ball outside the off stump. It's going to be given not as a wide, so that will finish the 9th over with the dot ball. Oh man, certainly not doing this convincingly. They're 31 for 4. No problems with the required run rate, but they just need to keep that wicket column in check for the moment.
Yeah, I think all credit goes to Nepali bowlers and fielders. And again, I said their fighting abilities, that they're not letting the things go out of their hands, even such a small total to defend, but still they are fighting out. And sweating Omani batsman has to score runs to get through this small total of 64.
Going to see a change in bowling as Karen KC is taken out of the attack. One of the problems for Paris Kadka is he can't just continue to bowl his 2 strike bowlers in the form of Karen KC and Sandeep Lamachani. So Sushil Bari will come back into the attack. Take a really quick look at Kadka's bowling options there, just in between this ball. Both Lamachani and Karen KC have already bowled 3 overs. So it is back to Sushan Bari's left arm spin. Short ball pulled into the deep. An attempted diving stop, but that's going to have enough to get at least a couple of runs into the deep. It does. Really good commitment again. That was Arif Sheikh getting just a hand in it and probably saving the boundary 4.
Yeah, it's very short and played out between the mid-wicket and mid-on for 2.
Nicely bowled. Just a little bit of drift there, not a huge amount of turn. Slower through the air, bravery from all the Nepalese bowlers so far.
I think wicket is still playing nicely, Andrew. I mean, there's nothing wrong about it.
Almost half a chance down the leg side. A little bit of contact off the pad. That's why it wasn't signalled wide. Just for a moment you wondered, was there a glove there?
Yeah, it seems that the ball went through to the leg side. 33. Half a mark.
Direct hit would have been close again. The throw comes in. They will get back for an overthrow. And you can't blame Dipender Singh Ari for throwing that, because a run-out chance just looked like it might have been on.
Oh, that's the right technique, to go for the singles and look for the doubles as well. 35 for 4 of 9 overs, Oman, chasing a very modest target of 64.
Hit into the offside. This is just going to be a single to bring up the halfway stage. 5 runs coming from that over. And given the context of this low chase, they're crucial runs. The halfway stage, Oman 36 for 4. They are in a winning position.
Yeah, but it's coming with through hard work from them. Still, things are not that much good for them. They have to go for singles and doubles to get through this small total. Hats off to the Nepal team for their heroics in the field as the bowlers doing their job, fielders doing their job. I'm sure any other team who would have been out for 64, they were not being that much fighting the way the Nepal team's fighting.
We are going to go back to Sandeep Lamachani. This will be his final over, and you'd have to think, from a Nepalese perspective, they'll need 1, if not 2 wickets from Lamachani. Remember, he's the leading wicket taker in T20 international cricket in the year of 2019. Such a global superstar. You're just joining us. 29 more needed to win the halfway stage of the chase. Short ball cut away into the deep by Kumar. Kumar, perhaps the only Omani batsman to really get going so far today.
Yes, he's playing very confidently. And I think he should play in the way also, the way he is batting now, to get through this 64 runs total for Oman.
This is the second lowest Nepal total of all time. They're bowled out for just 53 back in 2015 by Ireland. Oh, the leading edge from Lamachani. Nicely bowled. I think we'll probably see him try the googly now to Good. He knows that he has to make the breakthrough here, Lamachani. He's just got 4 deliveries to play with, his final 4 deliveries. It's the leg break cut away, going to be no run there. Another good stop and mix up in the running between the wickets. The direct hit's going to be close. Can't find the hit, so it will be a single. Amazing to have such drama in a low-scoring match here.
It's panicky, both the batsmen. They're not calling properly and just running without listening the call of the other batsman. There was slight misfield, but Sandeep started running towards the wicketkeeper's end.
3 deliveries remain in Lamachani's allocation of 4 overs. Hit down the ground towards our fielding position, and it's going to be 1 bounce, and it's going to be a boundary 4. Sampal Kami was in about 15 yards from the rope. If he was on the rope, that was down his throat, and it would have been out, but it went over his head, and it is indeed a boundary 4.
So it was a very, very welcome boundary for Oman after a long, long wait. Finally 42 for 4.
Here's the replay. It was tossed up by Lamachani bravely. I just wonder why Sampal Kami had crept in. Back live with you now. This one's into the deep. There's a fielder out there. Dropped. I think that might be a 1 bounce 4. Sandeep Lamachani kicks the turf in frustration for the 2nd delivery in the row. The fielder not on the boundary. It's Ishan Pandey this time. And it's going to be signalled as 6. It looked to me like it might have bounced just inside the rope.
I think the fielder would have been on the boundary line. It was an easy catch. He was at 5-10 yards inside the boundary line.
Yeah, here's the replay. It was a top edge. There's no doubt about that. Shouts of Steady Suraj, brilliantly caught by our pictures. Just burst through the hands of Ishan Pandey. Should have been taken. Driven down the ground. Really adventurous batting this. 11 runs from those 3 deliveries, and surely with those 11 runs and the 2 missed opportunities goes the match. Sandeep Lamachani's best efforts for Nepal are probably not going to be good enough. He'll end with 1 for 23 from his 4 overs. Just 16 more runs needed now for victory.
I don't know how the fielders were not on the boundary line when the ball was hit. He was 10 yards inside the boundary line and the ball sails over his head for the boundary. The 2 really welcome boundaries for Oman after quite some time, and both been scored by Suraj, who is batting very well at the moment right now, sensing the situation and playing accordingly. 49 for 4 wickets Oman, 11 overs gone, 12th over is underway.
over's gone. They're going to go back to Karen KC in this search for wickets. It's going to be hit into the leg side. There's a fielder right there. Is this going to be sailing over his head? It is. This game is ending in a hurry. As that one's going to fly into the sky over the head of Sundeep Jora. 6 runs.
Great knock from Suraj, keeping his cool and hitting wherever he likes to. Beautiful shot, short of the wicket, and he played it out over mid-wicket boundary for 6. Only 10 runs required for Oman to win.
Another short ball pulled into the deep.
Once again, same result. 6 more to him.
This one goes into the fence, and it's back-to-back 6s. And Suraj Kumar's innings is finishing this game, and it's going to bring more glory to Oman. The short ball tactic from Karen KC just not working.
Yes, absolutely. Brilliant by Suraj. 2 consecutive 6s of the same bowler. He got chance of batting after a long time, and he's really proving that he's also a great batsman.
Short ball again pulled into the deep. Just going to be a single this time. Picks out the fielder. And there's been phenomenal fight shown by Nepal here. But it was a bridge too far to try and defend this total of 65. And it looks for all money like Oman will close it out in this over and make it 4 wins from 4 on their home soil here.
Yes, great fight back for Nepal after a small total of 64. Really jetters in the Omani batting camp.
Going to be another single, so just 2 required to win. And let's take a look at that table on your screen, which is going to show 4 matches and 4 wins for Oman in the coming minutes, because Oman are clear at the top and they've been exemplary all week. Perhaps a bit of a surprise that they beat Ireland with such comfort. Remember, Ireland a test nation, so a brilliant win for Oman there, but they have won all 4 of their games comfortably. Nepal are going to have to settle for 3rd place in the table. This one cut away towards Sandeep Lamachani. Just 2 to win. They're going to try and run back for 2, and they will be the winning runs. It's victory and glory for Oman. 4 from 4 in this Oman Pentangular series. The perfect week for them. Their head coach, Dilip Mendes, has guided another masterclass. Oman can't stop winning. They couldn't have had better preparation for the upcoming T20 World Cup qualifier. And you'd have to think that the 2 most favoured sides going into the matches in the coming weeks are going to be Scotland and Oman. Oman, you wouldn't be thinking that they'd be one of the favourites 3 or 4 years ago, but they're coming to the top table of associate cricket now, and you'll have to think they'll go on and make their 2nd appearance in the T20 World Cup next year in Australia.
Yes, all credit goes to the entire Oman team, their staff, board, everyone for this wonderful achievement they have done. 4 out of 4 is not an easy against some top-class international sides like Ireland being a test nation, Netherlands, Nepal, and Hong Kong. Brilliant performance, all-round performance from Oman. Batting, bowling, and fielding was exceptional. And I hope that the same form they should carry in the T20 World Cup qualifier in Dubai, where there is fierce competition of the teams who will be going top of the table in the 14-nation T20 qualifier in UAE. Excellent job from Omani batsmen.
Yeah, glorious scenes here on your pictures. You can see at the bottom of your screen, Oman win by 6 wickets.